What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Wednesday. We got a couple NHL games to look at tonight and one premier matchup between two quality teams. And right now, you see these videos lately, I think they're starting to become popular on social media, where it starts with the Google Earth shot and then zooms all the way into the stadium and then shows you whatever, like a McDonald's in Paris. Well, imagine that globe shot, the wide globe, and then zooming all the way into Massachusetts, and then you end up on Hyannis, in Cape Cod, and there's just a bunch of angry fishermen, like in the perfect storm, and they're livid at me. Why? Because they took the Bruins last night to beat the Blackhawks, and they added Bergeron and Marchand, and they lost. But you shouldn't blame me. Why don't you blame your Bruins? They mailed it in. On the road again. They said, oh, we got to play Chicago. We can half-ass this one, right? Well, you half-ass in the NHL and you get yourself a nice loss. But maybe you should have taken Colorado on I said take Colorado on Monday, risk-free, $1,500 at Caesars. We'll hit it. And you wanted to wait for the Bruins, and now you better go look at them. Go blame the Bruins. Don't blame me. Don't show up at my house with the pitchforks. You know, believe it or not, the pitchforks. You know, believe it or not, I'm going to share a little something with you. When I went to school in Boston, I know many of you probably think I'm a loudmouth prick right now. Now, I want you to imagine me in college. You think I was better or worse? This is a refined me. This is a me that actually said, you know what, we got to taper things down here. And I was chiseled around. Yeah, this is me controlled. And this is me relaxed. Can you imagine the college me? There was a time in college, I was literally looking at a building, and I was talking so much trash when the Red Sox played the Yankees. And then which that morphed into trash talking about the city. Should I have done this? In retrospect, I'd be screaming at me, what are you doing? What are you doing? And in the building, like you'd see in a movie, I saw lights starting to turn on. And everyone started like looking out at their balcony at me and then made their way down. And I actually had a horde of people who wanted to beat the crap out of me. So I cowardly just snuck into my dorm where they couldn't get in because I had a key card entry, and gave them one last middle finger from the inside of the glass where they couldn't get in because it was like a college dorm. And then just went upstairs like a full coward, as a bunch of Bostonians were now awake and angry and wanted to destroy me. So this wouldn't be the first time I had a bunch of you guys looking to get after me. But remember, you went over to Caesars, you took part in that risk-free promotion where your first bet is risk-free up to $1,500. And if you lost, you got $1,500 in the account right now waiting to use in bet credits. So why don't we take a look at some of these bets on Wednesday that maybe we can get that money back and some more. Because that's the promotion we got going on Caesars. First bet is risk-free up to $1,500 as long as you're over 21 and located in a state where sports betting is permitted, which now includes Massachusetts. And if you got a problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So we got a couple of games here, but before we get them, I do want to let you guys know I've had some time recently to go to some of your DMs. I always expect to see some angry ones when I don't have picks that are correct. However, many nice DMs, and I do want to take a minute to say it does mean a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Don't think it goes unnoticed. I spent years trying to crack through in entertainment and never was able to find the show or the audition that would get me out there to more people. So the fact that this is actually the thing, I got screenshots of people sending me of me on their TV, and it's just very interesting to see, and it was unexpected that it came in this variety. So I just want to let you know, yeah, we get cranky sometimes, but that's what it's like, you know. Do you want me to give you the Marshawn Lynch? Yeah, I'm just here so I don't get fined. I tell you how I feel. We got a good thing going here. I appreciate all the kind words that you guys send me, that you make me a part of your day on a daily basis. Do not think that I take that for granted. And I just want to let you know I really appreciate it. So thank you for that. Now, so you hated me in the beginning. Now you like me a little. Now let's find that perfect blend of in between that. because that's what these bets probably will be. That's what my bets do for you guys sometimes. Sometimes they drive you crazy, and sometimes you love them. So let's look at the game that you guys probably are thinking, you know what I'm going to say, but I had to make some slight alterations based on personnel. One of the reasons that I've been backing the Colorado Avalanche as my horse is because they are mostly healthy for the first time all season. Mostly. They still have Landeskog waiting in the wings that I'm very hopeful they'll activate for the playoffs. And before you say, oh, but is he really going to be good? Nikita Kucherov missed a whole season and was the leading scorer in the playoffs. So I don't want to hear that a guy can't step onto the ice after a playoff run and know what it's like when taking the ice for playoff hockey and be effective, especially when you're looking at someone like him on the power play. Anyway, part of the reason I've been on the Avalanche, because I said, despite the fact that they don't have Landeskog, the rest of the core, all those defensemen who can help contribute offensively, along with the slight development that you got guys from like Comfort and Rodriguez, because they had to step up earlier in the year when there was no McKinnon. And now that they're all together, I'm looking for them to make a big push. And it was going that way. They just lost Arturi Lehkonen for a month. Now, I don't think this has a huge effect, especially when they play. Like, if this was the Canadiens again, it would be nothing. If this was the Arizona Coyotes, it would be nothing. But when you're playing Toronto, this is a premier matchup. This is when you get real effort versus real effort. Many times I talk about fake regular season hockey. Usually you see some pretty real hockey when you get matchups like this. So typically I would have said, you know what? It's going to be my horse versus your horse. Give me the Avalanche in this one. But without Lehkonen in his first game, you got to see how they jumble the line combos. What's the power play going to look like? I know they recently took him off the top power play. So I just like to play it safe when new pieces of information like that are introduced to me, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to give you something for this, and it doesn't mean that the Colorado Avalanche is not going to be sprinkled in there. Here's what I'm going to do. I want both teams over 1.5 goals. You know how I mentioned that about the Senators last night and a couple nights ago? Well, both teams over 1.5 goals in this one. And give me the Avalanche at plus 2.5. They can lose by 2 goals. They can survive a puck line with this bet. And it's not even money, but it's not far off. It's not some extremely high minus. So it's a way for me to back Colorado while still hedging myself in the uncertainty with Lehkonen's injury and everything surrounding it. So that's what I got for you there. In the Islanders-Ducks game, Islanders still without Matt Barzal, still struggling to score. Anaheim all season, they have been one of my under teams where, okay, you got them. Give me a team who can't score much going into their building, and I'll usually take an under. If you want to sauce this one up to under 6.5 and combine it with like a Austin Matthews point or something like that, a good player or a Cale Makar point or something like that, any sort of high minus that will help bring that under 6.5 to plus. There are a variety of picks you can make. You could even go to OddsShopper Premium. How do you like that sneak in? Where they give you the highest return on investments, highest probability of winning your bets, and they offer all the, as I like to call them, Area 51 bunker metrics involved with some of those players. So make sure you check out that and join OddsShopper Premium if you have the ability to do so. But I do like that under in that Islanders game. You can also go both teams under 4.5 goals if you have that same game parlay option, and then you can take the Isles at plus 1.5, believe it or not. The Isles plus 1.5, so they can lose the game, both teams under 4.5. That's also it's not too far from even, but I do think the Isles are going to win this one. So give me the under 6.5 in that one. And then lastly, I'm going to look at those Buffalo Sabres going over to Washington to play the Capitals. Capitals just played last night against the Rangers. We should be getting that backup goalie treatment. Now, Alex Tuch returning to that lineup. I casually mentioned that to you the other day. I would like that 2+ a lot more if Tuch was back in the lineup. Well, how did Tuch look? How did he add to the offense? Scored a couple goals, was right in front of the net, big body, big presence. And it looks like those Road Sabres continued to be those Road Sabres. And guess where they are tonight? Oh, on the road. Road Sabres. But more importantly, this is a matchup I've told you all year. Washington, old, slow, doesn't deal with speed particularly well. And that's exactly what Buffalo's going to bring into their building. Speed, skill, And with Washington just playing last night, and they didn't have Alex Ovechkin, we'll see his status for this one. You got to like the Sabres getting back into that offensive groove. And it's not like they let up a whole ton of goals. I mean, 3 is less than what you'd think with this Buffalo team. So they've given up 1, and then, 1 in shootout versus the Rangers, then 3. Apparently, after getting boat raced in your own building and giving up double-digit goals, it forces you to pay a little more attention to defense in your own end. And it's been good back-to-back defensive performances in Buffalo standard. Not for the whole NHL standard, but for Buffalo standard, they seem to be paying a little more attention in their own end of the ice. But I will take Buffalo to win this one against the Washington Capitals. Washington remains a very beatable team. Buffalo, they are a Jekyll and Hyde. I told you they were a bad team when I sealed, signed, and delivered it, and they've delivered for me with these random losses to the Blue Jackets on their home ice, a double-digit game against them on their home ice, letting up 10 goals to the Dallas Stars. So I think I've been proven right on that, but it doesn't mean when the right situation presents itself, I'm not going to take them. We got road Sabres with speed against a slow team. I'll take the Sabres to take out the Caps, and those are the picks that I got for you here on this Wednesday. And if you're wondering what happened to my wife, she left me. The Minnesota Wild. Yeah, one of my Mormon wives. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of uncertainty, in my opinion, with that team when it comes to Kaprizov being out of the line. Do I still have faith in their ability to play disciplined, to play within the structure and confines of the scheme that they have? Absolutely. But there's just a lot of uncertainty. Even look at these first 2 games. Post Kaprizov, 1 high-scoring win, another high-scoring overtime loss against Arizona. This doesn't look like the Minnesota Wild that we grew accustomed to. And that might be they have to open themselves up more to score, because without it was like, take advantage, get a power play goal with Kaprizov, get 1 or 2, and try to make that last. Now that they don't have that ability, it seems like they have to open up a little more on the back end. So all those Wild plus unders, I'm a little bit scared of. So the Wild are on big hold for me right now. I told my Mormon wife she can go to Europe for a month. So while she's gone, it's going to be on pause. And this video is going to be on end right about now, because that's where we're at. Thank you guys for coming back. Like I had mentioned before, I really do appreciate your support. I'm not a greedy rat bastard. I'm one of those guys, you know how they say only people who grew up without money can appreciate money. Same type of thing. Let's just say my professional career, I grew up without a lot of support. So now that I have some support, I am extremely appreciative of it. So thank you very much. I will be back with you tomorrow. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed to the OddsShopper channel here. Come follow me on social media. Lost a bet in the Sniff Central, the chat, the sniff chat that appears on my Instagram page now. Lost a bet there. Everybody told me to take Patrice Bergeron, didn't register a point. I wanted all off. He registered a point, but it didn't matter because the Bruins lost, and those fishermen at the end of the pier in Hyannis are all waiting for me with their hooks like the crew in The Perfect Storm. I'll see you tomorrow.